Welcome everybody to A&M in the AM, episode 13, and a lot has happened in what you could say the sports world, but more or less the MLB world since Monday's episode of the Buds podcast when we thought everything was in the clear, but on Monday morning, correct? Or was it?
Yeah, it was
Monday
morning.
Yeah, on Monday morning, it was breaking news. I woke up to it on First Take, I believe. 14 Miami Marlins tested positive for the coronavirus, which I don't think the MLB was prepared for. I think they were prepared for like one or two people, but not for half a team to test positive.
I mean, the thing is, like I've been saying, at least that's why they have 60 players, but then I think the past few days they've had some more, and it's actually up to 17 now, I believe.
Yeah, I think the total after the original 14, it went up to, they added two more and then another two more. So I think they're at around 18 total that have tested positive, which it's not just players, it's also coaches. So I'm really just wondering where it came from. Because obviously it didn't just come from like randomly. Like somebody broke something.
Derek Jeter said that they were fine when they left Miami to go play, that it happened in Philadelphia. So I don't know.
Here's all the Philadelphia Phillies, they're testing negative.
They all tested positive or negative. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so
except for a worker in the stadium. So a worker tested positive.
So it could have been that worker, and he could have been. I mean, are we seeing like possibly?
They've been a sabotage because of how the Marlins started off tearing the cover off the ball, and Miguel Rojas was projected MVP after batting 700 to start the year, and then he tests positive now, and like,
I mean, possible. I mean, it could honestly be there because. After I saw they all tested positive, I was like, maybe this is why they were doing so good. They just had like
that's what I had said. They had Corona running through their veins. They gave them a special power.
Yeah. Instead of making them all weak and everything, it was making them powerful and hitting them bombs and everything. But since they have tested positive, the Orioles and Marlins series, the series that they were going to play, has been postponed. The Phillies New York series is on a day-to-day basis. First game was postponed. Second game was postponed on Tuesday.
The Marlins actually aren't playing until next Monday.
Oh, they aren't? Okay.
So they're waiting that long.
So a couple of their series then. And I know, because the Nationals backed out. The Nationals, all the players voted not to play them. So, and I saw something that could possibly, the MLB might rework the schedule incompletely. So
a little bit for them, but they'll just play double headers and stuff too.
But I saw it. So like it'll just basically move all their games till the end of the season. In an essence, like so they would skip 2 weeks and then they would have to play end of the season basically.
They just play straight double headers for a week straight.
Yeah, and they would have. I mean, at that point, you think they would have to really expand their roster for them just to be nice.
I'm wondering how it's gonna do with the Yankees because they're gonna try to favor them through this.
Yeah.
They're not going to force the Yankees to play to get sick because there goes their ratings.
Yeah.
And then they also don't want to force them to play doubleheaders because then they'll cry about it.
But at the same time, you think to force them to play doubleheaders, more money for them, more view time. People are going to watch a doubleheader.
But they'll be upset that they have to be there.
Another game we saw postponed on Monday was the Indians-White Sox series. And something I want to point out, the Indians are tearing it up right now. I believe they won their doubleheader today on Tuesday.
They won the first game. I don't know. Yeah, the other one should be over by now.
I think that when I looked at the other one, they were winning like 5-0 again.
Yeah, Tim Anderson went crazy in the first game and had a few more hits the second game too. For the White Sox,
that is. Low-key tearing it up right now. Some surprise teams, honestly, we're seeing in the MLB. I know it's how many games in? Like 5. Indians ended up winning 4-3 first game, and they won 5-3 second game.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah,
I was actually surprised the White Sox manager was back because here's the reason why they didn't play last night, which I thought they did play last night, but I guess not. But he woke up yesterday morning and he wasn't feeling good, so they had him test and everything. Went to the hospital. Said he was good. He just got sent back to the hotel to rest, and he didn't go around the team just in case. But he was back managing today.
I thought they were postponed due to rain.
It might have been. Yeah, it might have been rain. I just Because I had seen, that's why I was confused. I had seen that their bench coach was going to manage, so it probably was just rain.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go through some surprise teams here. Baltimore. I mean, I know again, 3 games in, but they had a good first series there against who was it? Boston.
Yeah.
So I mean, good first series there. Boston not so good
They
here.
have
They're
they have
1-4.
Jose Iglesias and the other guy up the middle tearing the cover off the ball right now for them,
And
the Orioles.
their first baseman DH Rafael. I have him on my fantasy team. Can't even think of his name right
Okay.
now.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but he's tearing the ball off the cover too right now. So those are my surprises in the East right now. The Central Tigers 3-2. I mean, as a Tigers fan, saw it coming, but as an outsider, maybe people didn't see 3 wins this early.
I will say that. Let's see, they hit 1 today, 2, hit 2 today.
Yeah,
They were
Scope
going
and,
into today. Yeah, Scope and Stewart.
Yeah,
Going
both
into
2-run
today, yes, they were tied for the league lead in home runs, and they might have passed it. I don't know who they were tied with, but
And
I would assume they passed them with the 2 today.
Didn't last year we
They were the worst.
Yeah, worst in home runs.
Yeah,
So
it was like 20-something as a team.
Something with these free agent acquisitions in Detroit is just sparking the team to do something.
I mean, and they're straight up using a bouncy ball. The ball is getting blasted.
I'll be honest with you. These are the games I've watched, the few games that I've watched here and there, or even just seen highlights. This seems like the most hitter-friendly the MLB has been since the steroid era.
I think it's because they're using these same juiced balls from 2019 that were flying out like crazy.
Yeah.
They're still using those, and the pitchers are coming back, and their stuff's a little flat or whatever. And it just makes it even easier for the hitters because now, like the Midwest, East, whatever teams, they usually start off in cold weather. Like the Tigers usually play, and it's borderline snowing on opening day.
Yeah, sometimes.
But now they're playing in the dead of summer. Pitchers don't have it all. They're using bouncy balls. Like the ball is just going to keep getting crushed right now.
Yeah, it's really insane. And honestly,
because for some reason, Comerica Park turned into Coors Field over a few months. So.
No, like pitchers, and the other thing is, I think pitchers thrive with the crowd. I think they can really get the crowd behind them, and now they're just in their own head. And other than the hitters, the crowd in some way distracts them, and most hitters can't block out the crowd. But now that they're just in their own head, they only have the bat and the ball to focus on, nothing else. So the hitters are thriving in this now, and pitchers suffering. They've been off for a couple months. We saw in the first game, Scherzer was leaving the ball over the plate to Stanton, and I think he left one over to Judge, but it popped out to like left center, right center, something like that. But I mean, these pitchers, they need to get back in their groove. I think after the first month, we might see some more pitcher-dominated games.
I think the second time around, like when they're starting to go through again, they'll have it.
Yeah. So then moving back through the Central here, the White Sox, kind of surprising. They're at 1-4. Their first series obviously was just a slugfest.
I was gonna say they were outdueled in a slugfest. It was who had the worst pitching in that series. That's what's gonna be the whole year.
Yeah. Now we got moving to the West. Surprise, Oakland Athletics, that 3-1. Not much.
Who'd they play?
Not much of a surprise. They're decent. They're consistent every year. Coming in with a new catcher this year, and Sean Murphy as a rookie. Kept most of their core together, I'm pretty sure, though. So
who did they start this season against?
The Angels.
Oh, makes sense.
And then that moves on to my next statement here. The Angels, kind of surprised at 1-3. I mean, you aren't, but Mike Trout obviously hitting good for them, but Shohei Ohtani had his first start, which I didn't think he was supposed to start this early. I thought they were waiting for a couple weeks in the season.
I had thought so too, and then they were like, "Yeah, you know what? Let's just throw him out there and get him blown up." So,
yeah, he was not ready, not at all.
I don't think he will be.
No,
he might get it like 3 or 4 starts in, but
yeah. Now moving on to the National League in the East. Obviously surprised Miami Marlins. They just are doing amazing. Obviously this Corona's little fiasco is a setback for them.
They were playing like the
And
best
who
team in the
knows?
league.
Yeah, I was gonna say who knows if they're gonna be able to come, because obviously when they come back on Monday, they're not going to be able to play a majority of these players that have been playing at a high level for
They'll
them.
be playing like the Marlins again. They'll be playing as a minor league team with nobody
Yeah.
up. They won't be hitting the ball anymore. They'll fall back
Until
into
these
tank
guys
mode.
come back, hopefully. So
Then they're out for 2 weeks,
sure, yeah.
having to catch back up. And again, they are the Marlins.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then my surprise team, not very surprised. Kind of saw this coming with Juan Soto being out, pitching. I'm not saying is struggling, but you're seeing a question mark pop up there with Strasburg being out now. Scherzer kind of had an iffy opening day, but the Nationals, are they having a World Series slump? Could be, could not be. I mean, they're 1-4. They obviously face the Yankees. They're Stanton's on a different level
With the
this
juice
year,
ball, so that's
yeah, he's on a different level this year. So don't even blame them for losing those games. But I mean, don't see them making it back to the postseason, even with it expanded.
I mean, if they catch fire or something, the Braves are slow because the Braves were hit or miss against the Mets for whatever reason. So
I mean, and I
it'll be
guess the
tight
Nationals
still.
did do horrible last year to start off the season, then just made an improbable World Series run. So, I mean, not going to count them out, but after the first weekend and couple days, have to give them a disappointment there.
You just have to float around 500 all year and you'll be straight. That's what I've been trying to say.
Moving to the Central, we got the surprise team, which you were dogging on them ever since before the season started. But the Chicago Cubs, they really came out hot, and they're 4-1 right now.
And who were they playing too? I forgot.
The Brewers.
They were playing the Brewers, yeah, which I had said was really sus as it was. So I mean, that doesn't surprise me if they beat the Brewers like they did.
I don't know who else they were playing. Oh, the Reds this week, or the Reds are their next series here.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that moves right into that factor. The Reds, kind of surprising. They're 1-4. I mean, they were supposed to have a powerhouse team coming into this year. They got hitters, they got decent pitching. So
once Moustakas went down, got a little tough for them. Castellanos did finally hit his first home run today. I had said it before. I just hope it doesn't actually happen. I said Castellanos probably going to catch fire right before they come back to Comerica Park, and he's going to tear the cover off the wall in Comerica Park. Especially by the way the ball's flying out of there right now. I think it might I hope it doesn't happen since he was able to hit his first home run today. Hopefully it just goes back into slumps.
And kind of another thing, Joey Votto, return season. I mean, comeback player of the year. I know
he's scorching the ball.
It's early, but he's knocking the cover off that ball. He in those couple games against the Tigers, he was doing amazing.
He doesn't have some hits to show for it because there were straight at guys, like three or four of them.
They're rockets coming off that bat.
The softest hit I did see him hit that series was an RBI single, so it was a little blooper.
But Votto doing good there, so maybe they can again. This is all a season. It's just gonna be by runs. Just like you might go on a little bit of like a bad streak, but if you get on a hot streak, you'll be set.
It's really gonna be, especially the way the ball's flying. It's really gonna be whoever can hit the most home runs. It's not even pitching. Really doesn't matter. You could put a 9-year-old out there to pitch every game for you. It's just it's however many runs you score. It does not matter who you have out there, apparently.
Okay, so then moving down to the West, I'll make a bold statement here. Surprise team, the San Francisco Giants, had a good first series versus the Dodgers and held their own. Yeah. They really held their own there against the Dodgers. Won 2 games.
I like that.
So, I mean, young team.
Anytime you can hold the Dodgers back from getting wins, I'll enjoy it.
I mean, young team, but at the same time, a lot of old heads on that team. You got Hunter Pence, you got Johnny Cueto, you got Pablo Sandoval starting somehow.
It's a weird group of individuals. I still have no idea where the heck Brandon Belt is at, but he's somewhere.
He's hurt. I think he was hurt. So
maybe.
And then I mean, I have no idea where Joey Bart, right? Or yeah, I have no idea where he is. Apparently, he didn't make the opening day roster.
They're probably doing the service time thing to him too. But they also have that Heineman that's been playing. I think that they want him to be a backup or whatever. Yeah, they also have Tigers legend Rob Brantley backing him up. I forgot Rob Brantley even played anymore. It seems like he's been in the league for 15 years, but you know,
And then going right off of what I said, why the Giants are up there, the Dodgers. Kind of disappointing at 2-2.
I like
Supposed
it.
to come out and be an all-star team. Mookie Betts isn't playing amazingly after that contract he just got. Some are saying he does not deserve it now, even though it's been 4 games.
It's because he's on the Dodgers. If he would have stayed with the Red Sox or somebody, they wouldn't have cared. Well, Red Sox probably would have cared, but
yeah. But still, I mean, they're kind of struggling. Their pitching is getting a little sus. They had to have Dustin May do opening day because Kershaw had a little back problem, which they made that announcement an hour before the game. Walker Buehler was set to pitch second day, and then I think a couple days before opening day, that got pushed back to he was starting the 5th game. So things are getting a little weird in LA, but I mean, they're sitting at 500 now early in the season. I think they'll turn it around and make the playoffs. I mean, they're making the playoffs no matter what.
I would hope they would, but I mean, if the Padres keep playing the way they're looking like they're playing, they could.
Yeah, Padres are looking good, and Colorado's not looking horrible. I think the West, the NL West is something to be scared of now.
But the Rockies did that against the Rangers, and I think they actually lost like 1 or 2, and the Rangers are looking a little suspect in that series too.
Rangers are sitting at a 1-2.
Charlie Blackmon could not hit the ball at all if it was rolling to him in that series. Really, it was starting to hurt me in fantasy before I took off. Trevor Story has been carrying for them. It's really something going on.
But I mean, I think all in all, it's been a fun, what you could say almost first week in baseball. It's been definitely highs, definitely lows. JV almost went down for the season, ended up not. I mean, we've had balls hit out of this universe faster than we've ever seen them before. These batters are just going crazy. I mean, this is what people wanted. And I did hear that MLB had their highest view rating on that first night that they ever had.
I don't know the nerdy numbers, but it said like the Tigers opening night in Cincinnati was like one of the highest ever
for the Tigers
or something. It was like all of baseball or something.
All of baseball. Oh,
it was weird. It was like some numbers, some weird things that nobody understood.
Yeah.
But it just justified whatever point they were trying to make. That is
weird.
I'm not educated.
Yeah, but I mean, hopefully this Marlins thing can work itself out, and that this was just an isolated incident and it's not going to affect the league, league wide. It seemed like Rob Manfred, he hasn't made a statement about it, which no one would expect him to make a statement about it, really. But
he had a video conference with the GMs yesterday and owners, but that was it. Nothing really came out from it.
Yeah. I mean, it's Rob Manfred.
I think Al Avila said that all they talked about was like they're trying their best and they're going to not have the Marlins being around anybody. And they're basically we said, watch the Phillies and Yankees and whatever.
Yeah. I mean, no, you don't have to even watch the Yankees. Just the Phillies, really. Yankees didn't even travel, so.
I mean, but the Yankees have to be put in any kind of group known to man, so they had to be put in there.
True. Oh, well, other than that, I think the MLB is kind of flowing at a good pace. Views are good for it. I mean, this is basically what people wanted to see. We wanted sports back. We're seeing sports played at a high level by these players. So, I mean, that's all you can really ask for after not having it for 4 months. And I'm happy that's back. I'm not I wasn't watching every single baseball game, but I'm trying to watch every baseball game now that it's back because you miss sports. So now another sport we're going to be able to watch coming up tomorrow, Thursday, is the NBA. NBA returns, opening game at 6:30, I believe.
Something. I don't know.
Utah Jazz versus New Orleans Pelicans. We get to see the man that ended the NBA season to begin with versus
it's only fitting that it ends and starts on Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, I mean, it really – I feel like they did that on purpose, and then they just threw Zion in there just for the giggles.
Since he's
But-
gonna magically reappear and come back right before they can play, but
Yeah, I was gonna say Zion he left the bubble and he came back about 2 or 3 days ago, and they're saying he should be available for opening night. So, I mean, I think he will play just because obviously the NBA and the Pelicans want the ratings. So, I mean, I think they're going to get the ratings no matter what. But if Zion's there,
it's a must-win for the Pelicans.
Yeah. And then game 2 of the night, we got prime time. We got Clippers versus Lakers, which I think was perfect to do that. I mean, you couldn't have done a better game there.
It is, and now that they're saying AD is questionable, so it's not looking like as great of a game. But
I mean, it'll still be a good game though. I mean, LeBron will just carry.
Lou will be in Magic City. Lou will be in Magic City. Montrez is wherever. Joakim Noah will be the only center on their roster, so that might be okay. I mean, I would have loved to see Anthony Davis go against him. But then again, Joakim Noah would have tried to hurt Anthony Davis himself, so he's a weirdo. But I forgot what I was gonna say now. The Joakim Noah just really threw me off.
Well, I'll let you keep thinking about that. We'll come back to that. But yeah, those are the 2 primetime games there for opening night, and then you have a full slate of games Friday. So I think it's 6 that they're playing. Now something I want to do. What are your predictions for those first 2 games? Who are your winners? And let's say winners and the highest scores from each team. You don't have to give them a number.
I remember what I was gonna say. Now that you said higher scores,
all right.
It's worth mentioning that. Didn't you see that it was on the first night that a guy had predicted LeBron was going to score 60?
No, it was
or was it during the playoffs? Oh, okay, the playoffs.
Yeah, it was that TikTok. It was from that first night of the playoffs in August or whatever when it would be. But
but I think it'll be the Jazz and of course the Lakers. They have to win it.
Okay.
The highest scorer. I want to bet on somebody on the Jazz. I want to say Donovan Mitchell, but he's been so weird this year because I don't want to just favorite LeBron. So I'll just say Donovan Mitchell for the heck of it.
No, I'm from each game. I would say your highest.
Oh, okay. Then Donovan Mitchell and LeBron.
Okay. I gotta give the win to the Pelicans, but highest score to Donovan Mitchell for that game. I think he's gonna go crazy, but I feel like the not excluding Zion, I think the Pelicans have a better built roster there. And then
I mean, if Rudy Gobert could do anything on offense, then they'd be set. But
but you know him on offense. That's like Andre Drummond on offense. It's iffy.
Yeah.
And then for my Lakers Clippers, I gotta go Lakers because the Clippers are so iffy right now with their bench and everything. And you said AD is questionable.
Yeah, because he got poked in the eye.
All right, so I'll go LeBron. I feel like Kawhi has potential there, but I'll go LeBron.
It was I don't know who they were playing, but it was probably some hate crime that was hired by the Clippers to poke AD. Is what my conspiracy would be.
Another thing I want to discuss before I talk about this. Last thing to wrap up the NBA that the news just came out today. What are your top 5 maybe just top 3 underdogs or people that are going to show out in this bubble?
Like individual players?
Yeah, individual players.
Bobo.
Okay.
I think Jimmy Butler has something to prove.
Okay.
And Brandon Ingram.
Okay.
You haven't heard anything from Brandon Ingram in months.
Yeah, and I feel like he's like Brandon Ingram ever since his last year in LA, he's kind of turned into, I'm not saying Kawhi, but he's turned into kind of like the Kawhi that he's not talking, he does what he does, gets on the court, does what he needs to do, get off the court, doesn't say a word. And I like that about him. I like that kind of head down, I'm here to play basketball, that's all I'm doing. But yes, I agree with you, Bobo. I'm gonna go Shake Mountain. I feel like if he truly is starting at point guard, he will do really good for that Clippers team. He'll probably average above a 10
Sixers?
assists. He'll definitely average above 10 assists for their team. So
You mean the Sixers?
yeah, who did I say?
The Clippers. I
Oh
was gonna
yeah,
say,
for
wait,
the
did he get
Sixers.
traded out nowhere?
No, for the Sixers. Yeah, he'll definitely do good for the Sixers if he truly is going to be their starting point guard. Ben Simmons moving to the 4, and then, ooh, yeah, I gotta agree with you there with Brandon Ingram. I feel like he's just going to show out.
And an honorable mention would be Jr.
JR or Waiters.
I was gonna say Waiters Island, really.
Him and Waiters are just a package deal. They'll just show out together.
They're the same.
So yeah, I feel those couple players, or I mean honestly, Duncan Robinson. I feel like he might have a
He's been going off already.
Yeah, he was already going off. I feel like he might just like keep it on stride and just keep going with what he was doing.
He very well could. That's what kind of like why I thought Jimmy Butler too leading him.
Now something I saw today, it was right after I got on work actually, is that they might consider a bubble for next year's season. That it was saying, what was it saying?
I don't know if the players would agree to that. I mean, I know they're starting to like decent, like almost like how it is now, but I don't know if they'll agree to being gone even longer.
It was actually
like a second wave could be around that time, but
it was actually it was released by the NBA PA director Michael Roberts. He said the league may need to play 2020-2021 NBA season in bubble, just to player precaution and everything like that.
I wonder how they would do that though, because they have to have the rest of the league down there.
Yeah, it would honestly
be
go
hectic.
They would have to they would probably like, I don't even know. It would have to be
unless they did it in Florida and like a neighboring state right around there, but there's nowhere else that's like big enough complex for that. I mean, unless they just straight up go to LA or something.
Yeah, it would be difficult.
And then play like the ones around there.
They would have to do it like the NHL is doing it in 2 cities.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like you have them stationed in one, and then you just fly to the other ones. That's like a state or two away.
Yeah, because the NHL is in Edmonton. I know we haven't talked about the NHL at all in the Buds, which is kind of mind-boggling. I don't know why we haven't talked about them, but they're doing the same thing as the NBA. They're having 2 hub cities, one in Edmonton and one in Toronto, where they're these. I think those are like the biggest hockey towns in Canada. Which honestly, I like that move by the NHL. They moved to Canada. Obviously, it's hockey all the time there. They have the Rogers Center, and then they're playing. I forget what they're playing at. It's in Edmonton, but they're playing at those 2 stadiums, or arenas. So I think the hockey will honestly work out well because they did 1,400, 1,500 tests, and they had 0 positives come back.
I had heard that they're also doing a soccer bubble in Florida right now. It's at the same place as the NBA.
They are.
Weird.
Actually, it's not the same place, but it's in Orlando.
Oh, it's like
and
a
team actually had to be sent home for kind of the same reason why the Marlins got sent home, or why the Marlins aren't playing, because over half their team tested positive for corona in the bubble somehow.
That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna be like, Will, they're too close to Miami and party places. They're going to slide over there. Kyle O'Quinn tried to go to Miami in a boat. And Matisse Seibel's vlog. Like, they're just all tempted to slide over to Miami. And things are going to happen.
But I believe that was FC Dallas. So they're out of the tournament now. And that they're just going along how they were in Orlando, though. So I think things are okay down there now for the soccer bubble. WNBA started. I know that we haven't talked about that at all really, but they started. Things look like flowing smoothly down there. I haven't heard of really any positive tests or anything. So I mean, things are really going good in these. It seems like the bubbles are really flourishing.
Has that's Sabrina chick or whatever the heck her name is gotten a quadruple double yet?
No, she actually shot 0 for 8 her first game from 3. But she scored like 16 points or 13 points still, but she shot 0 for 8.
Okay.
And talking about the bubble, I was watching the Pat McAfee show, and they were saying, is the NFL going to scramble to make a bubble now that They saw how the MLB is working. Are they going to scramble to try and make a bubble, even though it would be physically impossible?
Yeah, I feel like they'd be one of the leagues that would be the hardest to have them get on board with it and be okay with it.
Because Pat was like, what are they going to do? Just go out to one of these, excuse me, going to go out to one of these desert cities and just build a bunch of turf football fields and say, okay, we're in Arizona, we're playing here, we'll put you up in hotels all around Arizona. We'll have this one hub city right here. We'll have 15 different fields. Everyone will play.
But it'd be hard to manage, but like I was saying to the NBA one, if you could get like a group of states, like if you're saying Arizona, like all of them like in a 4-state radius
Yeah.
where they're being watched when they're traveling or going somewhere, which I know they won't want to do. But like if you could do that, then I guess maybe that could work out.
Because,
They're
okay,
just
so
all clustered together.
let's consider it here. I'm not really good at my geography, but you got Arizona. I'm on my maps because I'm not good. You got Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. You got the four corners right there. So
Yeah.
if somehow you could do that, but the problem is you have Nevada and you have California right there, and that's temps players. That's the bad thing. That temps players. You got Las Vegas literally.
That's what I'm saying.
right
Like
there.
you have watch them. Like
Yeah, you
that's
have
what
to
they
put
wouldn't
like
want to
ankle
do.
bracelets on them. Be like, you can't leave this vicinity.
Yeah,
But
probably.
I mean, I feel like the NFL is just going to kind of do what the MLB is doing. The good thing about that is they're not playing as much. They're playing once a week. So
They're just dipping out.
it's a little bit better there. So you're not there for a long period of time. You're kind of they might even do this a lot better. They might be like, okay, we're showing up on like Saturday night at like midnight. Players get in your hotels, sleep, game at like three in the afternoon.
I would think Friday, just so that way they can like a mini practice or something in.
No, I would think Saturday. I would think they're going to try to eliminate as much time in whatever city that they're going to be in as much as they can.
Or if they go in Saturday, get in there real early in the morning,
Yeah,
rest a little bit, go out, stretch or whatever, get ready for the game, and then play the next day.
I would think that's what they would do. They would get there early Saturday morning, have time on the field, do whatever they need to do there.
Then the same thing for like Monday night and Thursday night and Friday night and Sunday night and Wednesday night, whatever special night they want to give it.
Yeah, but get
They
there
have.
the day before, and then you're out the same night you play. Literally, if you play on Sunday, if you play that
I would say
night,
the next morning for that too, because they usually have like the next day off anyway. So
But I'm just saying, just to eliminate contact, just to get them out as fast
yeah,
as they can.
but I think they'd have a problem with that. They're like, well, we're being rushed in, not much sleep, and then we got to play a game, and then we got to hop on a plane, and we're all going to be battered and bruised from a game. It's going to be annoying, and then we got to hop on a plane and be all smushed together. Like,
I mean,
I
most
think
of
they
these
would at
guys
least
have
give them a night to
most of
sleep.
these teams have like pretty big private planes though. So
Oh yeah, but I mean, still, they would have just played a full game, and they're just like, oh, onto the plane you go tonight.
I guess, yeah, maybe you have to wait till that next morning at least. But that next morning, literally, you wake up, you're out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the NFL could succeed still this season. I hope they do. I really hope they do. I wanna be able to watch that. The only question mark still is college football. Don't know what's going on there whatsoever.
I mean, I think most of them plan on it.
Yeah, I mean most of them plan on. I think it's just gonna be conference only this year, which is gonna be a little
it was
bit weird.
gonna be that anyway.
It's gonna be weird. I mean, us as Michigan fans, I don't even think we're playing anybody big really. Non-conference.
No, they were finally getting treated like Ohio State and Alabama, and they were gonna play like some no-name schools first 3 weeks to get some easy wins. The ones that it really affects is Maryland. They would have there goes their 2 wins they get every year. So that's a tough one for them.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it would have to be something to watch out though for to see. Hopefully, we see college football back in some way, shape, or form. Hopefully, see NFL back in some way, shape, or form, and hopefully these sports just continue in their season, some way, shape, or form.
I did see though that there's trying to think of a way to include Notre Dame.
The Notre
They
Dame
just
game
straight up
still.
wouldn't. They just straight up wouldn't have a season
Oh no,
because they're
Notre Dame would
independent.
move to the ACC.
Okay, that's what I thought. I knew it was somewhere that they were moving them to.
No, me, Ben, and Nick talked about that in our Trio Buds podcast that we had that
Oh,
one
okay.
night. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
we talked about how Notre Dame was supposed to they were gonna move them to the ACC, which would give Clemson a little bit of competition there, which I liked personally.
Yeah.
So I think that's really all we got on that little subject, and then we're gonna move to the probably highlight of the weekend is the Wiffle Ball League, Holbein Wiffle Ball League. We had the last week of the regular season. We had a tough Saturday. I'll tell you what, it was a tough 3 hours.
It was a long
like
one.
It was like I was sitting in a sauna. Or I was in a hot tub in a sauna on the sun. It was bad. It was bad. We played 2 games. We won the first game. It was a pretty easy game. Apparently on their podcast, they said we were the game versus the Hula Hitters we were even with them, that we're pretty even teams. Seems like,
I mean, if you guys would have merged them like you were supposed to, they wouldn't have said that.
I
You
mean,
guys
we
let
were
them come back
going
at the
to.
end.
We should have, like, okay, 2 of their runs were legit. We should have won. We should have won like 10-2, but it was 9-3. So, I mean, and then the second game, we were playing good. The heat got to us. There was only 4 of us playing, and it was just not a fun time. Like, we were hot. Brendan just got too I don't want to say frustrated, but like flustered there in the last couple innings.
I mean, you had to keep the trend going of splitting every weekend anyway. So
yeah. So we finished 5-5. We lost that last game to Deck the Balls, who we previously won in the season 1-0, which it was a pitching.
That was a huge game for them.
Yeah, it was a pitching duel in the first game and then a slugfest in the second game. And actually, they lost the conference because they had their game postponed till Sunday against D's Whiffs, and they lost the conference because they lost to D's Whiffs, and Super Wiffle Bros actually took over the conference with that loss. So now that we have the season is over after week 5 there, the playoffs have been set, and the playoff bracket has been set. So for game 1, we have the 4-seeded PVA versus 13-seeded Butter Wiffles. Interesting game there, PVA. And apparently, before I go through these all, there's never been an upset in the playoffs ever. Okay. A lower seed has never beat a higher seed ever.
Makes sense why.
Game 2, these first 3 games are on Friday night. So game 2 is D's Whiffs versus Carol Baskins. I mean, you got D's Whiffs. So and then
that's like a 10-minute long game.
And then you got Blow the Whiff versus Home is Where the Heart is At. So haven't really heard of that team since we played them like very early in the season.
I forgot that was even a thing.
Yeah. So then Saturday morning, you have Deck the Balls versus Abusement Park. If Abusement Park is there, they've forfeited like every single game they've played this season. So
I'm surprised they made it in.
Everyone makes
it
in.
I know.
They made it in as an 11th seed. And keep in mind, there's 14 teams. Carol Baskins was the worst seed. So, and then game 5, you have Hula Hitters versus Whifflers in training. Now, this is where I got my beef at. I am not one to argue about things, but in no way, shape, or form is Hula Hitters a better team than us. Yes, they have a better record. They're 6-4. We're 5-5. But if you see the games they play against the games we played, they won by a forfeit. They should have probably ended the season 5-5, same as us. I don't agree with them being higher than us in the seeding. I'm not going to argue with it. We're going to go out and
play with the chip on your shoulder then.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to do what we have to do, but that's the only argument I have about the whole seeding and everything. Yes, they have a better record. I feel like that's why they were put ahead of us. They were the 7th seed. We were the 8th seed. Obviously, kind of ruffled me and Brendan's feathers a little bit when we saw that, but
I mean, you did win the head-to-head game, but still with the better record.
And we had a better conference record than them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then the game 6, Packers versus the Sheriffs. So I think we should be able to make it past that first round. Hopefully, Sheriffs 5-5, same as us. So it's a pretty even matchup when we
And
go
if you have
into
the whole
it.
team show up, you're missing your all-star Royce, then it's gonna be a
No,
tough
Royce
sailing.
is going to be there this
We
weekend.
have it confirmed.
It's going to be me, Royce, Quentin, Brendan, Devin, and then maybe Cole. Maybe, but we're going to have 5 or 4 at least, 5, maybe 6, possibly. Zach's out for the rest of the season because, like I said, he hurt his elbow.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget manager of the year, Zeke.
Actually, yeah. No, that manager of the year is actually one of the awards, but it's for Cole because Cole was the one that set up the team.
Yeah. So. I would like to say that my final record as bench coach, it was let's see, I was at 5. I was at 5 games, I think.
Yeah.
I ended up being 3-2, so I'm above 500 bench coach.
There you go.
So that has something to go.
I was gonna say in the 4 games I played, I was 4-4. In the 10 games I showed up to, I was 5-5 as a manager / coach, as a manager / player. So
I'm just retiring with that record. It's not affecting me in the playoffs as I will not be on the bench.
I mean, you're coming back though for next year, so
yeah, but that'll be as a player. That's why I'm retiring as a coach.
Unfortunately,
it's Brett Favre out here.
Unfortunately, with me showing up, I mean,
Jason Witten.
What?
I said it's like Brett Favre and Jason Witten, mostly Jason Witten.
No. I was gonna say, unfortunately, me coming in week 4 this year, apparently I'm eligible for Rookie of the Year. So
that's another reason why I didn't want to.
I'm hoping I can make a case for applying for Rookie of the Year next year because technically I only played half the season.
Yeah, that's another reason why I didn't want to do it like late in the season. Come back and at least attempt for Rookie of the Year.
So yeah, I'm hoping I can make a case that I can be qualified or I can be considered a rookie next year also because I only played 4 games when there's 10 games. So hopefully I can plead my case to the commissioner and
I mean, just imagine a fall league though. You could get Rookie of the Year for that too. We both could.
I mean, we pleaded your fall league case and.
I mean, have we actually pitched it though?
I don't know.
We've mentioned it. I've yet to hear back from the commissioner if word's gotten to his office. I'm just wondering.
I don't know. Maybe I'll make some connections.
Because you're a manager, so you should be in on like a form. Okay, you're part manager.
Yeah. I'm actually show up to all the games. Our true manager doesn't.
So you should be in these like league-wide calls and stuff. Where you should have some say. And you should have a voice.
League-wide calls. So.
That's what the players' union's for. Even though you're not. Well, I mean, I guess you are a sole player, but
yeah. So moving to the quarterfinals, we have quarterfinal 1, which is game 1 winner versus game 3 winner. Quarterfinal 2, which is game 2 winner versus game 4 winner. And then we have quarterfinal 3, which is the number 2 seed in the whole tournament, the Super Wiffle Bros versus game 5 winner. And then quarterfinal 4, which is the number 1 seed in the entire tournament, Hogwarts School of Wifflery, which is versus game 6 winner, which would be us, which would be our game
if you win.
So it's definitely a tough game for us if we win. We would have to go against the number 1 seed in the entire league.
And hope that your pitching can stand against the slugfest that would presumably be coming
upon us. And I think we talked about it. We already have a plan for our pitching for the entire weekend, all the way up until the finals, if we were so to make it. So we, like I've been preaching, I'm the last resort pitcher. If it comes down to it, and we're in the championship game, we need 1 inning pitched. I'm your Andrew Miller for you.
Just make sure that your third baseman / pitcher can really show up with some grace and some feet without sliding around, falling, looking like a drunk deer on ice. Like, I mean, the amount of times that this team slips around. Brendan mostly, deer on ice. It's just that'll help you in the field.
Well,
What I'm saying.
I guess I'll release our opening our first pitcher for the weekend.
Okay.
Brendan will be starting. He's on minimum innings though. We're watching his innings. And something that does change in the playoffs, which really benefits us, which change our whole like mindset on the playoffs. You do get 10 innings for the whole weekend.
Oh yeah, I
Where
mean,
you
but that's going to benefit all the other teams too. They have the real nasty pitchers.
Yeah, I know, but you can't pitch. You can't pitch 7 innings. You can only pitch 6 innings in a game.
Okay.
So, yes, it will help, and it'll be iffy. And if we make it past, by some chance of, by some grace of God, if we make it past, let alone the first game and then Hogwarts, we would possibly play PBA, which is the challenge we want. We want that matchup.
The rival.
We want that matchup again. We've wanted Royce. Royce has wanted to see them. He's wanted to see them since the game we played them early on in the season. He wants them again. I think
Didn't they win? Or is that the one you guys won on the triple play?
No, that was the first. Here, let me go back. I think we played, or they played PB. Yeah, we played PBA week 1, Saturday morning, second game of the season. Or second, yeah.
And won or lost?
We lost.
Dang.
This works here. We lost 12-4.
Dang.
So it was a tough game. Royce was kind of upset after that, and he said, "I'll see you guys in the playoffs." So hopefully he and Holt, the possible the earliest we can see them in the playoffs would be. I mean, the only chance we could see them in the playoffs would be the semifinals. So we'll have to see it. And then the other exciting thing that's supposed to happen on, which would be Sunday, the championship game, the radio station, WLN, or not WLN, but their sports, The Cave, is actually going to be live broadcasting that game from the field. So,
that's going to be something to see.
No, it definitely will be really interesting, I feel as though.
I mean, I wish I could see one of those night games. I doubt you guys are going to be there to like watch some of the other games, but especially if you were to lose the first round. But
I mean,
if you do, I might end up having to see.
If we win the first round, we play. Okay, so we play at 12:30 on Saturday. I know you can't make it to that game, but if we were to win that, we would play at 7:30 on Saturday night.
Oh, that's perfect.
So you would be there for that. I could probably pick you up or something for that game. And
yeah, if you make it, then
and then
I don't want to say I'd have to retire and be the bench coach because I don't want to mess up the record, but I could possibly retire as the bench coach.
And then say we were to win that game, grace of God, like I said, we would play 1:30 on Sunday, and then grace of God if we were to win that game, but let alone anyway, finals is at 5 p.m. on Sunday night. So you couldn't make it to that game possibly. Maybe the second half.
I mean, it's just you guys have to be the Nationals.
Yeah.
Really, is what it comes down to.
Which
are you the Nationals or you're the Dodgers? Because the Nationals beat the Dodgers and the Astros, obviously. But
I mean, we got everything. We got chips on our shoulder. We got the seeding that should have gone in our favor to move to the 7th seed. Didn't get it. We had the rough game on. We had it was kind of rough right there because we were out in that sun for 3 straight hours. We got barely a break. We were down 4 players, the minimum players we were allowed. So we got a chip on our shoulder, I feel like, especially if we go into this weekend with only 4 players. So, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes.
It'll be a tough one.
Yeah. So, I think that's all we got, though, for this video. Maybe a little longer one, but that's okay, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, anything else to say, buddy?
No, just hope that it turns out okay.
Yeah, I mean, I might even be able to talk a little bit on Monday's podcast about how the weekend went. I know those guys aren't really into it, but I mean, maybe spoil a little bit for next Wednesday's A&M. So, yeah, like I said.
Also, if any of the 3 commissioners see this, again, this is my cry out. for a fall league. Yeah, I mean, it'd be wonderful if it could happen. Is all really. That's just my message to the commissioners.
I would say he's been pleading for a fall league, so yeah.
I think the content could go through the roof if there was a fall league. The A&M A&M combination with the league.
Yeah, A&M would go brazy.
Have to get specially made shirts. Actually, I would. I'd make us 2 specially made shirts, just as like a walking billboard for ourselves.
Yeah. Well, that's what we need. We need a walking billboard. We need to get ourselves out there. But so the Bud podcast will be returning on Friday. That should be a fun episode because we're going to be recording it live on Thursday during the games. While those NBA games are live, just like we did last Thursday for the baseball. So we'll give you that will kind of be just strictly NBA episode there, unless anything drastic happens in the sports world. Then we got Nick and Joe's Film Room on Saturday, another Buds podcast on Monday, and then A&M back to you next Wednesday. So I think that's all we got for you. And like the video, if you guys like what we're doing here, subscribe. We're on our road to 70 now that we hit 60.
Or 61, really, because we know how hard that's going to be. 61.
So thank you guys for watching, and Bronny, take it away.